Everyone loves the aesthetics and beauty industry, but you never get to see everything behind the scenes. It's for authorized personnel only. But now, you're being authorized.
We are in the operating room today.
Blow the dice for me. Put your pretty ass lips together, blow it real nice for me. Yeah, I'm trying to hit a lip and slide to the dealership in the morning. Wow, Papa need a brand new story. Hot head, they not gonna believe it, but check the recording. Just as that, up a few bags. Big booty hoes meet me in the pit. Bar full of liquor, cash for the strippers. It's gonna get weird tonight, so no, just put some money to blow. I'm about to buy Las Vegas after this road. I'm about to buy Las Vegas after this road. Come on, 777, let's go. Yes,
Welcome to Naked Beauty Live. And as you can see, I'm in my Olympics gear, Olympics 2024, just finished, and this show is the Olympic-themed show. We've got two great guests for you, both competitive bodybuilders. We're going to talk about the Olympics. We're going to talk about bodybuilding. So much to talk about. And I don't know if you guys watched the Olympics, but it was a great year for the USA. First in medals, we finished with 126 individual medals and team medals, 40 of them golds. Now, we didn't take the gold crown because China was right there with us with 40 gold medals, but we trounced everybody. 27 more medals than the second place finisher, which was China. But we had 40 gold medals, 44 silver medals, and 42 bronze. An incredible performance by the United States. And you guys probably saw some of the favorites. Simone Biles just killed it every single time out there. She is amazing, and we hope we see her again in 2028. This might be her last Olympics, but she says she's thinking she's going to come back. Katie Ledecky was there. Noah Lyles, unbelievably fast. The guy set records. Unbelievable. And, of course, USA Basketball, once again, brought home the gold, both men's and women's. The women, everyone goes crazy for the men's USA Basketball. The women's USA Basketball trounces everybody. I think this is like 8 years in a row that they've brought back the gold. I mean, as a matter of fact, I think, I haven't checked this before the broadcast, so I have to say this. I'm not 100% sure of this, but I think I saw somewhere that they have never lost a game. USA women's basketball never lost a game. So some interesting things about the Olympics. This was the third time it was in Paris. The last time it was in Paris was 100 years ago. Another interesting thing about that, 1924 in Paris, that was the first time that both the Summer and the Winter Games were both held in the same city. So Paris hosted both the Summer and the Winter Games in 1924. Hasn't been back since until this year, 100 years later. Over 10,000 competitors competed in this year's Olympics. It was just really great to be. And hey, did you guys? Everyone's talking about Snoop. You guys, I know you saw Snoop at the Snoop Doggy Dogg at the Olympics. He was everywhere. The guy is just an incredible ambassador of goodwill. Already talking about getting him back for the 2028, and of course, 2028, LA. It'll be in the United States in Los Angeles. So if you want to go, book those tickets now. That sells out fast. This is a tradition. The Olympics are a tradition that has been around since 1894. When the very first modern Olympics were held in Athens, Greece. Of course, it would have to be in Greece because they're called the Olympic Games because the ancient games were held in Olympia, Greece. That's where the Olympic comes from. So we've got a great show to explore all this stuff, a lot of things. We're going to get really into the bodybuilding end of things. I want to introduce my first guest. My first guest is Yamile Gideon. She is a competitive bodybuilder. She's also in this industry. She is spectacular. I want her to tell you about herself, but I want to show you her doing her thing. Let's take a look at her in one of her recent competitions.
Just a memory.
10 years, I couldn't look like that. So let me introduce.
You could.
I don't know. Let's see. I don't know if we're going to see. No promise. This is Yami Legedian. Yami, welcome
Hi.
to Naked Beauty Live.
Thank you for having me. Good to be back. Always good to see you, as
Yes.
usual.
Well, yeah, we had the opportunity for a while to work together.
We do. We have history, people. We have history.
So tell us what you do in my world, in the beauty world.
So I am a physician assistant, as you know, but a lot of people don't know this. And I am an aesthetic physician assistant. So I do all the aesthetic treatments, Botox, fillers, lasers, skin resurfacing, all injectable. So a lot of times people call them an injector. And I'm also an anti-aging wellness as well.
Yeah, so you're a beauty PA basically.
I am a beauty PA. I like the ring of that. Yeah.
Now
yeah.
you know we have our own Barbie in the office. You know Barbie.
There can only be one,
No,
but
Well, there's
I am Brickle
apparently a
Barbie.
lot- Yeah,
but
there you
but
go.
I love Barbie. I love your Barbie too. She's also my Barbie. So I used to work with Barbie at another office as well. So me and Barbie have a lot of history as well, and
That's
I
true.
love Barbie.
Yeah, so I just want to get out Brickle Barbie, right? At Brickle Barbie.
Yes,
So they can
correct,
check you
correct.
out there.
Yes.
You know, this is the show is about the Olympics, Olympic themed,
Mhm.
but we're going to be talking about you and our next guest about focusing on bodybuilding. We'll get the Olympics mixed in. You're a PA. You're doing injections. You're doing laser treatments. Where did you start training to look the way you do?
You mean like in total or like this season?
No, in total. When did you start this whole bodybuilding journey?
I started in 2014. I actually was just scrolling through social media and I saw a picture of a girl and she looks great. And I thought to myself, I'd like to look like that. And being scientific as I am, I started Googling what percentage body fat it is to look like that.
Lower than mine, I'll tell you that.
And then I started striving for that. And then I ran into a trainer and started working out in the gym. And then I met a great lady, and she saw me in the gym and said that she thought I had potential to compete. And I had no idea what that was. And I went to a meeting, and then fast forward, I figured I found my people. And that was the bodybuilding the community. It was like I found my home.
That's awesome. And so 10 years ago, the first time, and you just felt like it fit. That was you.
It fit. It was like-minded people. I think we all, as competitors, have to have a little bit of the same kind of temperament. You got to be a little OCD about things in order.
I mean, listen,
at least in order to do well.
To
I
look
think
the
you do.
way you guys do, it takes such tremendous commitment. You know, I have a lot of patients that are bodybuilders. And there are all these different categories too, right?
yeah.
And when you started, did you go, well, first of all, what category do you compete in now?
So I compete in the bikini division.
There you go.
Yes.
So bikini, and there's a difference between bikini and fitness too.
Correct. So there's bikini, there's fitness, there's figure, there's women's physique, there's bodybuilding, and now there's a new category called wellness that they added like maybe 2 years ago.
So explain to me, explain to everyone watching, bikini,
Correct.
fitness, and wellness. Tell me what the differences are.
So bikini is the category that would describe the least amount of muscle among all the divisions.
So it's just looking good in a bikini while still
shape,
yeah.
balance, still soft, still not too much muscle. You're supposed to look like you work out, but not look out like you work out too hard. So it's about shape and softness, and we have a posing routine, very feminine and mostly front and back poses.
So what did you start in?
I started in bikini.
All
I
right.
mean, a lot of people don't know this, but my love was actually figure when I first started. And figure is the next division up that has a little bit more muscle. And I met a judge, and he looked at me and he said, "No, you're bikini." And I've been bikini ever since.
Well, and so you never actually went up to fitness.
No. Well, so fitness is a different category. So fitness has a little bit more muscle, but the biggest difference between fitness and the other categories is that fitness also incorporates a routine. So they're the ones who do the amazing jumps and splits and
that's part of their routine. Sort of
and
like a
that's part of-
gymnast.
exactly. They get scored on their posing, and then they also get scored on a routine that they do,
Huh. And so you originally were thinking you wanted to go into
which is figure, which is
Figure.
a different one.
okay, and so that would be a little bit more muscular.
A little bit more muscle.
Okay.
They're mostly have to have great shoulders, great back, and all of them have to have good symmetry and balance, but a little bit more muscle.
Wow. Wow. And so now this new category, wellness, what's
Yeah.
that about?
Wellness is all about the legs and butt.
Huh. So it's like fitness on the bottom half.
Well, even bigger. No, even bigger. So it's interesting because the guys like the wellness. It's about so they're the ones that are not really supposed to be balanced because disproportionately the legs are bigger, the glutes are bigger in comparison to the upper body. So, but yeah, I couldn't be wellness even if I wanted to. My genetics don't allow it, but it would be lovely. But I just
Your genetics are doing just fine
Well,
because
thank
you're
you,
doing things
thank
that
you.
most people can't even
Well, thank
aspire to.
thank you.
Let me bring in our next guest. I want to introduce the next, and this next guest has been. You've seen her in my Instagram before, and you may have seen her on lots of different appearances. She has been all over the internet. She's been all over TV. Well, let me show you what I'm talking about.
Hello, everybody! Ooh la la!
I mean, America's Got Talent, and my next guest has a lot of talent and a lot of fire. This is, I want to introduce Josefina Monasterio. Josefina, thank you for joining us today. I'm so glad you could come and be a part of all this. Wow, great to have you here again. You heard us talking a little earlier, me and Yami, about how she got into this, and your story is also unique. Your story starts older than I am right now, right? When did you start training? 2005. Yeah, okay, good. So don't give your age yet, because I want, people just saw you on stage. For those of you who are watching, think about how old you think Josefina might be. And they played this game. Look at those guns. Unbelievable. You're making me jealous.
She looks great.
You just saw her on stage. She shows up at these appearances, and actually, that was America Has Got Talent, and they tried to guess your age, right? The whole panel tried to guess your age. I think the closest one was about 20 years younger than you actually are. So think for a moment. You see Josefina here on the screen. You saw her walking that stage at AGT. You see those guns. How old do you think she is? Get an idea in your head. How old do you know how old Josefina is?
Yeah, don't ask me because I'm familiar with her.
All right,
I'm familiar with
All
her,
right,
so I won't. I won't
Yami
be
already
fair.
knows, but every time when I see you, it blows my mind. I can't believe it. But okay, tell everybody how old you are now.
Wow,
It's just
that's amazing.
my head explodes every time I see that.
Mhm.
Well, Josefina, I'm being told that we're having a little issue with your audio. Can you hear me? No, can you hear me? Oh, you refreshed, and now that she can't see us now. No, can you hear me? Hold on. No, I've got you. Josefina, can you hear me? You're hearing us? Okay, you see me and you're hearing me. Okay. So now she's back up. We were being told that we're having trouble getting your audio on the broadcast. So Joe's going to work on it. And so I apologize for those of you watching if you can't hear Josefina. But let me just tell you, you saw her walk. She is 78 years old. If you didn't hear that, 78. I can't even believe I'm saying that word watching you. And, she just explaining that all the training she does, everything just helps keep her vital. It has so many benefits, just staying active and pushing weight. and eating right, living a good lifestyle. I mean, it keeps her looking like this. It's
Yeah,
unbelievable.
yeah. That's the bonus.
Oh well, I'm not sure which one's the bonus, right? I think that's the real thing. Looking great, looking great is the bonus, I think, and being this healthy.
Absolutely.
I mean,
Absolutely.
78 years old, she makes me tired watching her move around a room.
We got to
So,
change that,
I'm,
Dr.
I'm like
Rubenstein.
30 years, 20 years younger than you.
I'm gonna
Almost
pull you.
25, almost 25 years
I'm
younger
gonna
than
pull
you.
you in the gym with me.
Yeah, well, I'm getting to the gym.
Okay,
We'll talk. We'll
right,
get there.
right.
Does my wife have you on payroll?
She
Trying to
sent
get
me.
on my get me back on track. Joe, how we doing on sound for Josefina?
I've checked everything. I can't find any way to get her back unless we test stopping the stream, and I don't know if that'll fix it.
Let's see. Let's see if we can come up with a workaround. How about why don't we take the audio off here and let's just play it?
Try it now.
Josefina, go ahead and talk. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you fine. But it's going to take about 10 seconds to catch up. We're just waiting to see. Well, I'm going to go ahead and start, and if I have to, I'll just have to repeat what you're saying because we're having these audio problems here. But one of the things I wanted to get into, we talked about the different categories. Oh, by the way, what category do you compete in, Josefina?
This, your fists are closed, and physique you open. So at the beginning, when they created a new category, physique, it was like, oh, so the women can be more feminine, less muscle mass, less this, less that. But eventually, women's physique became just the same as bodybuilding. They're as big as a bodybuilder. So if they had a bodybuilding, I stay with bodybuilding because I don't see any difference. And I love the bodybuilding. I love it. I don't wear
It
shoes.
loves you too. I'll tell you one thing before we get into some of the stuff I want to talk about with both of you, Josefina. You compete because at your age, for you to compete in your age group, does it even exist?
No, it doesn't.
Right. I mean, how many people? Is there anyone close to your age that you compete against?
No.
It's crazy.
Very, 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 very seldom. I usually do open class.
Right.
I go always open class. Then I cross over to 45, 35. I don't go older than that because I don't feel older than that.
So either it's open class, so you're not going any older than 45-year-olds.
No, exactly. Open class all the time. And
Right.
I'm always guessing. Look, the last show I got first place plus overall. That was in May 5th.
Unbelievable.
That was, yeah. So,
So
and
just
I
to be
get
clear, so everyone watching understands this. Open class means anybody, right?
All ages.
Anyone can come in. 18-year-old, 20-year-old, 30, 40, doesn't matter how old you are.
Correct.
Any weight class could be 250 pounds of muscle, could be 150 pounds. Anything goes, right?
Yes, before they used to have like weight, like I used to compete in lightweight, but now it's just bodybuilding, open class, any weight.
So
it
you competing against 20-year-olds that could be 50, 100 pounds heavier than you, and you're taking that home.
Absolutely.
That's so great.
Yes.
That's awesome.
That is so great. You're my hero.
She's all of our hero.
Yeah, she's everybody's hero. We've seen that. All right, so we talked about the difference between bodybuilding, different classes, and bodybuilding is actually not an Olympic sport. They do weightlifting competitions, but bodybuilding is not an Olympic sport. So maybe one day we'll see. I mean, they've got breakdancing, so there's performance type of.
Yeah.
I think so.
Well, I don't know if breakdancing is coming back, but
Well, maybe not in Australia.
but yeah, absolutely. So it's an artistic thing, and I think definitely if they can have breakdancing, then bodybuilding should be in it. Absolutely.
All right, so let's dive in. Go ahead, Josefina.
No, I think bodybuilders should be in the Olympics because, like you compete, you doing your routine. They can just, if they don't want to do the prejudging thing, but they can do the bodybuilding when you come out and you do your routine and you expose your physique. I think it's gorgeous and it's beautiful. I don't know why they don't have it.
Well, that's a good point. I mean, hopefully it'll make it to the Olympics soon. I'd love to see you competing in the Olympics. Let me see you competing for
will.
Team USA, right? Team USA needs Josefina Monasterio, right? The two of you.
It'll definitely be fun. That's
Oh
for
my-
sure.
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, she is definitely a lot of energy going on. So talk about training. You know, we talk about how you prepare for shows, and I've spoken with friends and patients. I think I've probably spoken with both of you about this off air. Let's talk about what you do just to stay. Never mind when you have a competition coming up, because that's crazy what you have to get yourself into. We'll talk about that. What is your maintenance? What do you do off season?
Well, off season, if you want to have a good off season, I mean, there's two ways to do an off season. Some people gain a lot of weight in off season, and that's never recommended because then
You got to lose it again, right?
because you got to lose it and it becomes a lot harder. What I did this past off season before actually doing a show was I tried to get my weight to a point where I was sort of lowering my body fat slowly instead of trying to do it all within 12 weeks because that becomes a nightmare to try to do that. And I have done that before, which, I realized. So what I did now is I started early. And in the off season, you always have to have cardio in there. Cardio is always included in an off season in order to try to keep your body fat as low as you can, and of course you want to make sure that you're eating well, you're eating, because in an off season, that's where muscle is being built mostly, is in an off season. So you want to make sure that the diet is high in protein, has carbs. That way you're taking advantage of the calories in order to build muscle. So that way when you do go into your season and you're starting to cut, you sometimes lose some muscle. So in your off season, the best thing to do is cardio to keep the body fat down, eat lots of protein and carbs to sort of build muscle. That's the best.
So off season is growth. Josefina, what is your routine in between competitions when you're in off season?
When I'm off season, it's just like Yamile says, I don't go fat. I don't buy into that philosophy that I have to gain 20 pounds, 15 pounds, because I feel it's very unhealthy. Because then you have to go through the stress, losing 10, 15 pounds or 20 pounds. So I go like with Jamile says, I stay like maybe 6 pounds overweight. Like I weigh 125. I don't go more than 128 off season. And I compete usually in 112, 110, around that weight.
Okay. And so how do you when it gets time and you're hitting into your first competition, what's that prep for you, Josefina? How are you cutting down those 10 pounds and leaning out? What's your routine?
Well, because I don't have to lose 10, I probably have to lose 5.
Okay.
So that's very easy. And also I lose 4 pounds of water when I start dehydrating. Yeah. So I lose 4 pounds of water. That's typical with me. And then when I start prepping for my competition, then I really cut down. I love eating fruits. So I cut in my fruits. I cut maybe the portion of carbohydrates. So I cut a little bit, but not much. For me, it's so easy because I sort of maintain the same rituals every day. Huh. So I don't go overboard. I don't suffer.
So you just try and stay steady. Like everything you're doing is the same.
Absolutely. So when competition comes, you're ready. I'm ready. I'm always ready. I can compete next weekend.
She stays ready.
That's pretty crazy.
You stay ready. You don't have to get ready, right?
That's right.
I wish I was always that wise. I've done it both ways. My last this past season has been the easiest for me because I took those tips of coming down, so that way when it's time that you make a decision you're going to do a show, you don't have to suffer. But I've done the 2 hours of cardio a day before because I've gained so much weight in the off season.
So how far in advance would you do this? So you get 2 hours of cardio. I mean, it sounds like a lot, but 2 hours of cardio, if you break it up, not terrible. But
it's
to
always
do it
terrible.
Well, yeah, okay. See, for me, that's like leg day. My son is always on me because if I go to the gym, I'm doing chest, I'm doing arms and back, but I'm never I do my abs every time, but never legs. I just
Never
don't do
legs,
Never legs.
okay,
I
alright.
skip leg day every day.
Can't skip leg day.
I know. That's
We're
what
gonna
they
have to
say.
turn your mic off so nobody hears that.
Oh, my son's gonna get on me.
Yeah,
He's-
yeah,
if
yeah,
I don't,
yeah.
if I don't
Listen,
admit it,
in the
here,
bodybuilding
then
world-
I'm just not keeping it real.
In the
He's-
bodybuilding world, you never admit to skipping leg day. You can skip a lot of things, but you can never skip
There's a
legs.
reason I'm not a bodybuilder.
That's right. Plastic surgery is your forte.
That's right. That's right. But so, 2 hours a day. How far in advance are you getting ready? A competition is on July 1st.
So
when do you start?
I typically and luckily this season I didn't have to do the 2 hours of cardio a day because I had already come down. But I typically, in order to feel good, I like to give myself 12 to 16 weeks.
Wow! Oh my God! So that's 4 to 5 months
But
in advance.
this past season, I was fortunate enough because of the preparation I did before. I was ready and did a show, and I gave myself 6 weeks, and I was ready in 5 because
Great.
of getting
Just
prepared.
staying in shape.
Correct.
Or staying in close to
So
competition.
we shaved off about a good 10 weeks. We shaved off cardio time, and I didn't
Yeah.
suffer. And it made this competition season getting ready so much more pleasurable than
Yes.
not. Big difference. Big difference.
I'm sure it's a huge thing. All right, so we talked about eating right the whole time, and you're not really letting it go in between things, not gaining your 20 pounds that you got to
Correct.
shave.
Correct.
When you are going to let it go,
Yeah.
what's your favorite cheat meal?
After this first show, and I thought about what am I going to eat. I really wanted like sushi, and a lot of people don't think that's like really a cheat meal.
Because the
but-
rice?
I don't know. I wanted sushi. Sushi has sodium. It has lots
That's
of
true.
things.
There's a lot of salt. Yeah.
You know, back when I first started competing, I think the next day I did like pizza and I did mac and cheese, but then you feel so terrible the next day. And and unfortunately for me, I don't ever feel terrible physically. My body like eats it up like it's been eating it the whole time. I wish sometimes that I did feel bad because then it would probably
because you
discourage me.
burn. I mean, do you have any idea, either of you, how many calories you typically burn a day?
I don't.
Josefina, do you know how many calories you're burning?
No,
And you don't even think about it. Neither one of you think
no,
about it.
I don't.
But you know you're burning a lot when you eat a meal and then within an hour you're hungry,
Hungry again, yeah.
You realize you're burning through it. So
Yeah, it's true. So, Josefina, her cheat meal is sushi. What's yours?
Chicken quesadilla, mojito, flan, chips.
She's got a whole
guacamole.
menu. This
nice,
is great.
nice. Well, I have to have a cocktail. I'm with
Okay,
Josefina
all
with
right,
the.
so
I gotta have a
You got-
cocktail.
what's your cocktail then?
Well, I gotta have a glass of champagne, of course,
Champagne. All right, so we got champagne.
and
we got mojito,
or a martini.
or a martini.
Or
and
a
flavored martini or just regular?
No,
martini?
I like a real martini.
Vodka or gin?
I like a vodka martini with a lemon twist.
Lemon twist, no olives. Okay.
Uh-huh.
All right.
The olives have sodium.
Well,
I gotta try to shave off. I think about all these things.
Oh, but you're taking. That's true. You're
I gotta think
always thinking about it. I
Yeah.
should think about it more. I'm sure that's true.
Listen, as a bodybuilder, we're constantly thinking. Everything we see is dissecting and calculating. Unfortunately, our brains are never turned off.
Well, it's absolute dedication. You're always on. I mean, and just to hear Josefina talking about it, she says she could turn around and do a competition next week, right? Always being in shape. So this is. I mean, people talk about it being a lifestyle.
Yeah.
But it's all encompassing. People talk about different kind of lifestyles, like hunters have a certain lifestyle and things they like to do, but it's not all the time. Like other athletes, like my son is all in on baseball. My daughter was a championship debater, and she was
that's
all in on
awesome.
debate. But she's not all debate all the time, unless you get in a conversation and you're going to lose.
Yeah, of course.
But people have these lifestyles where they're all dedicated to these things. But this is like everything. It's
Yeah.
dedication in every aspect. I'll bet you guys think about how much you're sleeping every day.
Oh, of course. Yeah. I
Awesome.
have my phone set to sleep mode so that it goes dark. Therefore, it discourages me from scrolling because I can stay scrolling until 2 o'clock in the morning.
You and everybody else.
So my phone goes dark in order, I can't see it when it's dark, and then I'm forced to put the phone down to try to get at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep.
Okay,
a day.
7 to 8. Josefina, sleep for you. What is your routine?
Well, let me tell you this. If I wasn't here with you right now, I would be in my bed ready to go to sleep.
Ah, the
Seriously?
joys of retirement.
Yeah. Well, sort of retirement. Well, that's true.
Sort-
She's not, yeah. Sort of retirement. Wow. I mean, so it's so important. People don't think about how important sleep is. And any athlete training, if they're not letting their body recover and grow,
Absolutely.
then they're just you're never going to get the gains they want.
This weekend I felt just really tired, and I normally I would go, and it was a Sunday, and I'm like, I should go to the gym, but I just felt so exhausted, and I said, I just need to take like a day just to do nothing, and that's where all the growth happens, is when you're resting, when you're recovering. All the work that you put in the gym, it all comes to fruition when you're sleeping.
Well, that's why Josefina is always so jacked and in perfect shape all the time. It's all that sleep she's getting.
Sleeping at 6 p.m.
And I'm up at 3 a.m.
Oh, that's why. Up at
Oh,
3
so you
a.m.
start super early too. But so, all right, so what is that? That's 6. That's 9 hours of sleep.
Yes.
And probably
absolutely.
you're in bed at 6, but not really sleeping. So how many hours do you guys feel like you need to be fresh?
At least 7. At least 7.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, 8's recommended.
Yeah,
So-
I have to get at least 7 in order to feel. I can work on very little sleep. I'm one of
Everybody,
these
yeah, I mean, most people can.
Yeah, I usually, I make a joke one time. I was in Vegas, and I think I slept like maybe 8 hours in 3 days. But and each
Well,
day
that's
that went
Vegas.
by, I got more and more energy. But if the next day is a gym day,
You
it'll
feel
just,
it.
Yeah, you
get
feel it.
destroyed.
You can't.
Yeah.
You can't.
Yeah, I
So-
mean, I travel a lot to lecture all over the world, and when I'm traveling, I might fly massive time zone changes, get there, and I leave at night. I get there like first thing in the morning, and I've been traveling for 10, 15 hours. You get used to not sleep, and then you've got stuff to do. Then I've got to
Of course,
go
yeah,
and go to the
yeah.
conference. I've got to give my lectures. There's always some sort of function. You have to meet people,
Mhm.
drinks and dinner, and by the time I might not have slept for 30 plus hours.
Wow.
So you get used to doing that, but you feel it.
Oh
You
no, your
definitely
body.
feel it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, let's talk about some things that are. Let's get on. So I want to get into an Olympic topic, and let's talk about. Joe, what do you got? Okay, yeah, I couldn't see what you were showing me. Sorry. Let's get on to an Olympic topic. There is some controversy that happened in this year's Olympics, and I want to get into some of the controversies that we saw in the Olympics and some of the things that are in your world, right? So starting off, let me just speak about the Olympics because it's our Olympic show. You guys, did you see the Iman Khalif controversy?
Yes.
The boxer from I think she's Algeria, right? The Algerian boxer. Lot of controversy about whether or not that athlete is truly a woman. And there's really no evidence one way or another. The one International Boxing Association, IBA, disqualified her from a competition, saying that she didn't meet the gender criteria. It was assumed by a lot of people, and even published, that it was because of testosterone levels.
Okay.
And then the IBA came out and said, no, it's not testosterone levels. They did testing genetically, and
chromosomes.
well, they didn't say. They were
Okay.
very vague. But so what do you guys think about? And I don't know if this happens has the transgender world entered bodybuilding? I'm wondering, what do you guys think? Let's leave bodybuilding out of it and think about the Olympics for this moment. Do you think there can be a fair competition when a genetically born male athlete that is living as a woman competes as a woman? Can that be fair?
In an Olympic sport?
In a sport, pick a sport. It almost doesn't matter which sport. I mean, we can talk about boxing. This was a contact sport. This was a boxer. So in a physical contact sport, boxing, judo, wrestling, any kind of contact, fighting sport. Let's start there.
Well, I don't think it can be fair. I think testosterone, people underestimate the value of testosterone. I think testosterone makes you leaner, more muscle, stronger, more energy. And as a woman, although, I'd like to think my testosterone levels are good for a woman, they're still the levels of testosterone of a woman.
Right.
And so
And by the way, they test, right? Do they test in bodybuilding competitions?
So, no, they do not.
Okay.
Unless it's a natural show.
I gotcha. Okay.
So if it's a natural show or a deemed natural bodybuilding show, then you are subjected to being tested. But in the IFBB, NPC, the NPC is what I compete in, there is no testing. And so
So
Sure.
people are free to do whatever, and
People are free to do whatever, and you're free to decide if you want to go up against someone who may be doing whatever or not.
and so, Josefina, what do you think? What is your feeling on transgender females who were born male competing against female athletes?
My opinion is a woman is a woman and a man is a man. And you can, I can put myself in my garage. That doesn't make me a car. I can get up tomorrow morning and say, oh, I'm a man. I can say whatever I want. So it's just like for me, let's take the bodybuilding, me competing with the guys in bodybuilding. You know what I mean? Oh, I feel like I'm a macho woman, a macho man today, so I'm competing with the guys. To me, really, it's nonsense. It's just like, you want to be transgender, compete with people who are transgender. That's fair to me. So have a different category. But competing with women, that doesn't make you a man because you decided that you wanted to be a man. To me, I cannot wrap that around.
Right.
my
No,
head.
I get it. So just to be fair, Ms. Khalif actually competed as a woman and says she's born a
Always,
woman and is a woman. We don't know what the story is, so I don't want to have anyone misunderstand. I'm saying that she should not be boxing against women. I mean, she beat the piss out of a bunch of women just as a very skilled boxer. But in the instance where you do have someone who has a Y chromosome, if we're talking about a genetic male person, there's actual advantages, just physiologic
Absolutely.
advantages,
Yeah, absolutely.
notwithstanding testosterone, because there's a range. Even the highest level of testosterone for a woman still doesn't match what a male's
No.
testosterone should
Correct.
be. So, unless you're supplementing as a woman, you're never going to get there, and that's just genetics and physiology. That's the
course.
bottom line.
Of course.
But let's now look at some other things. You mentioned that people are free to use testosterone as a
Yeah.
female competitor if they wanted
Absolutely.
to, and even men.
Absolutely.
What about anabolic steroids?
They're free to use that as well, as long as it's not a natural show. So, again, in the NPC and the IFBB, they're not tested for anabolics. So, are there people using? Of course.
Well, it seems like most people would be using it. I mean, if you're not limited to it, unless you want to limit yourself and then compete against other people who are limited,
well,
why would you not just?
I can't say most, and I wouldn't say most. It depends on the division too, right? As a bikini,
I guess the bigger you get,
correct.
the more
As a
you want, yeah.
bikini competitor, I don't think there's a need to be on anabolic steroids. That can actually work against you. You can lose because you have too much muscle. So again, the criteria for bikini is to look like you work out, but not necessarily too hard.
Right.
So, sure, I've come into shows before where I was, a little too lean, and we're trying to fill up now, or maybe looked a little bit too muscular and have not done well because of that. So it can actually work against you depending upon the division. But yes, there are a lot of people who use anabolics. I don't think it's absolutely necessary. But then again, depends if you're a male bodybuilder. Are you going to be one of the top all natural? I mean, unless you have crazy genetics and a lot of luck, I don't know. I don't know.
What do you think, Josefina?
Experience. I compete, like I said in the beginning, open class. I'm 100% natural. When I go to nationals in Pittsburgh, I'm competing with women bigger than you are. My philosophy is I do this for my health, for I love the sport. It keeps me young. It keeps me powerful, healthy, all the side effect of bodybuilding. And I compete with people that they're doing, it's called hormonal manipulation. So, for me, I don't care whatever you want to do. I don't really care because I do it for me, for the sport, because I enjoy it. I have fun doing it. And I compete, and I'm always, when I go to nationals, I always place. So for me, if I place third, fourth, or fifth, for me, it's first place because I know I'm a natural bodybuilder.
Well, that makes it even more impressive because listen, being realistic. I mean, I don't want to be cynical, but being realistic,
Yeah.
Probably more people do than don't
Yeah.
use supplemental things to try and gain an advantage. And it makes sense. If there's
Of
no
course, yeah.
rule saying you can't, then why not? Right? I mean,
No,
there
you're
are
right.
people doing it. Listen, in professional sports where you're not supposed to use any of this stuff, people still use it trying to gain an
Correct.
advantage.
Correct.
And so when there's no rule saying you can't, I would imagine most people would. But that makes the accomplishments of people that stay natural when you're competing, especially competing open, you're at a tremendous disadvantage and still overcoming. That's super
Absolutely.
impressive. Let's think about simple things. You know, people talk about using that stuff, but there's other ways to manipulate your physiology. What about things like carb loading and blood doping in other sports, right? For your sport, it doesn't matter because it's not so much an endurance thing.
No.
I mean, for you guys, it's actually the opposite, right? You're trying to offload, so people might use X-Lax, they might use Lasix, right, to drop large amounts of fluid. You know, you might take a Lasix dose and pee out 2 or 3 pounds right before a weigh-in. Now, when you're competing on a weight class, do you guys have to weigh in?
As bikini, no, we don't. It's not about weight.
So there's no weight there.
There's no weight
As
there.
a bodybuilder, Josefina, do you have to make a certain? Well, you're competing open, so it doesn't matter. But if you were competing in a weight class,
Yes, well, they used to when they do open class, but you will have lightweight, middleweight, heavyweight.
Right.
They used to weigh you. So I used to compete like a 112, so that was lightweight. That was the old days. Nowadays, open class is every weight, and no matter what, how much you weigh. But going back about the supplements, I don't take supplements. I don't take protein drink. I don't do anything like that.
wow,
So I do the in-body test with my coach. I just did one yesterday, and this is the myth that as you get older, you don't increase your muscle mass. Well, my muscle mass keeps increasing almost every month. I had the in-body. I do it. You know, I can bring it to your office and I see you the next time. It's impressive.
yeah. You
because
know,
if
we have an
work
in-body.
hard-
We just got an in-body in the office.
Those are great.
We're
I love
using
those.
it
I
now.
have one at home.
You have one at home? Oh my God.
I have to take my measurements upon awakening, devoiding, and nude. I have to have it at home.
So if you guys don't know, what an in-body is, first of all, it's not an inexpensive machine. I mean, even the cheapest one's
Yeah.
not cheap. There you go. There's your in-body report.
Uh-huh.
So the in-body is a body composition analysis. If you've seen those scales that you stand on, this one is a scale you stand on. The fancier ones, you have to
Hold on.
grip the little handles and keep your arms straight.
Yes.
And it sends resistance. It sends electricity through your body in certain currents and it's measuring resistance through different parts of the body. It has electrodes in your feet, your heel, the tip of your feet, your thumbs, your your palms. So it's running electricity through your body, and it's able to measure fat composition in your body, internal fat versus external fat, right? The visceral versus the outside fat.
Water.
Water content, right? It can measure intracellular, extracellular water. It can measure in different parts of your body. It can tell you what your muscle content is in
Correct.
the arms, in the trunk, in the legs. It measures everything, so you get a really detailed report. And we just started using it. I'm using it actually I bought it because we're doing a study on a new product that's coming out that I'm not going to talk about,
Sign
but
me
it's
up
super
for that.
interesting. We've started using it on my liposuction patients, on my tummy tuck
Nice, nice.
patients. Anytime we're making big body changes, and you can see the effect that the surgery is having. But now with this, you guys using it on a regular basis,
Yeah.
it's brilliant. It's the only way to really know the differential fat
How you're
composition of
improving,
your
how you're
body,
improving,
the
yeah.
water in your body.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really great.
Well-
So smart.
Look at this one here. I did the week 2 weeks before this week, so my muscle mass was 59.5. I did it this weekend. My muscle mass is 58.9. So the machine doesn't lie. So if you if you
Yeah,
had
they're super accurate and consistent.
it's it's just straight, and then
Alright.
you can
So
do growth.
competing, well, yeah, and you see it. So in your competitions, I want to get to this because we're going to be running short on time, but I want to make sure we get to this because something I know I'm really interested in, and I want to hear your story. I asked you both to tell us what win you're most proud of. So Yami, what was the competition that you are most proud to have won?
So there's a tie for me, I think. Well, so one of my happiest is this one. I just got this one in July 20th. And this is from MPC Teen Collegiate and Masters Nationals. It's a national show where I went to try to
That's
compete
awesome.
for my pro card. And why this is, I came in third, so I came in top three. And oh, there it is. And I was really proud of that show because the last time I competed was actually 5 years ago in 2019.
You took a 5-year break?
I took a 5-year break.
Well, COVID probably started that.
Well, it started that, and I figured the gyms were closed and things like that, and then the eating began, and then I took time to travel and just enjoy life. And
Yeah,
I knew
I've
that
seen it in your Instagram, by the way.
yeah, of course. And I figured, that was from a couple of seasons ago. So in 2019, I kept getting first call out. So all the girls come out, you get first call out, and I just kept getting sixth and sixth place and sixth place, and I was the proverbial sixth place.
That's frustrating.
Now, only top 5 get a medal. And I remember leaving that last show.
So you're getting 6, and a top 5 will get some.
Yeah,
Oh,
and I
wow.
remember leaving that last show that season and saying, I just want a medal. I just want a medal to leave here showing that I had something.
But then you crushed it. You jumped 3 spots.
Yeah, and then I finally got my medal. Finally got
All
my
right,
medal.
I want you wearing the medal for the rest
Yeah,
of the show.
right?
Put that on.
Yeah,
Put it on.
yeah.
Put it on. Put it on. I want you wearing it. Come on. Get the, put it on. Put it on. I want it on. There you go.
Finally got my
there you
medal.
go.
Okay,
Yeah, you
finally
got.
got
I
my
want to
medal.
show off the medal. All right. So, congratulations.
Thank you.
And what is the next step for you?
So, you said the next step?
Yeah, the next step after this. You know,
Well, I'm going back. I have a show in 2.5 weeks. We're going for the first place.
all right.
I
What-
can't stop it until I get that pro card. That's what
That's
I'm
it.
that's what this is all for. So I have another show in 2.5 weeks. My coach and I have decided that we gotta. The judges have said I need to be a little bit fuller. So it's not a bad problem to have. I get to eat a lot of carbs, which I'm doing right now. And we're
So
going back
beefing
in
up for the
2.5
next show.
We're beefing up for the next show.
All right. Oh, Safina. There you go. She's catching that. Look at that. I feel like I gotta have some. But I don't have a medal to wear. I feel left out. So your favorite win? Tell me what that was about.
Well, you know the saying, you are as good as your last game, right? So my favorite show is my last show in this past May. Overall, first place, bodybuilding. I got about 4 medals, so that is my favorite one because it's my last show. So I just want to keep improving, and I want to keep getting first place. I like first place, but
Well, who
you
doesn't
never
like first place?
Everybody loves first place.
you never know until you get to the show, but you train to win. I train to win.
Yeah.
So once
Yeah,
I get
well,
on,
we're showing here. I don't know if you're looking at the show at the same time. If you take a look, we've got your trophy room, and Joe's going to flip through some of these. And that's the one you just won. That's the one you're showing us now. I mean, it's a tremendous trophy room you have. I mean, you have to have it's a whole room in your house. Look at that.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes.
you started. You said was it 2004?
5.
2005. Okay, so it's been almost 20 years.
Exactly. I'm compete, and I compete like I said in the beginning. Every year, at least 3 shows.
All right, so just to put this in perspective, 20 years, all these massive groups of medals and trophies, all kinds of awards, and you started at the age of
59.
wow. So there's hope for me yet.
There's always hope. There's always hope.
I don't know. I don't know. Not when I look in the mirror.
You can
sometimes.
transform your body. What I've realized from this sport is that you can transform your body within 3 months. Now, it may not be fun.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be a fun. It's not gonna be a fun 12 weeks, but you can be a completely different person in 12 weeks, and that's the beauty of this sport. It's that you can decide and you can work on it, and if you do the work, it'll happen.
Well, all these people are doing 60-day challenges, 90-day challenges,
absolutely.
75-day challenges,
Yeah.
all this stuff. So maybe I'll take on a challenge. I don't know. We'll see. I know that I'm definitely got a lot of catching up to do for you guys. You guys have unbelievable bodies. and
We'll
work
hold
hard.
your hands. We'll bring you along for the
Josefina,
ride.
you think I have there's hope for me yet?
Absolutely. If I started at 59, you have it made. You can do it. It's
Well,
just
so
a
I can
mind.
let it go for the next 5 years,
No.
right? Because I'm 54, so I I can just let that ride. I don't have to worry. I can just let me throw a caution to the wind, have my fun.
Remember
for 5
those
years.
2 hours of cardio? You don't want to be there.
Yeah,
so, yeah.
that's a good point. That's a good point. We're coming up on the wire here. I mean, there's a bunch of stuff I wanted to talk about even more, but I got to tell you, it's so inspirational. Both of you guys. I mean,
Thank you.
in 10 years.
Thank you.
With a 5-year break. It's really only 5 years.
A 5-year break.
Yeah, because you think about it, you started 10 years ago, but you had a 5-year break from
correct. Yeah,
COVID
correct.
throwing a fly in the ointment.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? And Josefina, 20 years of hard training and competing against every weight, every open class, all across the board, and not just placing, winning, coming in first. That's so impressive. If people want to check things out, give me 2 things before we go. I want each of you to tell me, your greatest tip to someone that's seeing this and wants to aspire to wear one of those one day. Tell me, what is your greatest piece of advice, and then tell us how people can get in touch with you if they want to, see more, if they want to learn more. Tell us your IG, what outlets you like to share.
So I think the biggest tip is consistency. When I first started this journey to sort of get ready to plan to do a show, I was doing my cardio. I'd see cellulite in places, and no matter day in, day out, I felt like it never changed. And I just told myself to just keep on being consistent, whether you see the changes or not. Just keep doing it. And then one day you're going to look and you're going to say, there it is.
Yeah.
So consistency is the key. Just keep doing it over and over again. And don't get discouraged if you don't see progress. One day it's going to just open up and you're going to see all the work that you've put in. So just be consistent.
Really true. And if people want to catch you, where do they find you?
So I'm at IG is Brickle_Barbie.
At Brickle Barbie.
At Brickle Barbie. Brickle_Barbie.
You got it. Josefina, what's your tip for people that want to be you?
To have the right mindset. No imposing limitations on yourself. Believing that you really want to do this. And when somebody presents you the opportunity, like in my case, my coach said to me, you can be good at bodybuilding, because I never had lifted weight or anything like that. And when somebody tells you that you can be good at it, embrace that idea, because somebody is seeing in you a potential that you never imagined that you could do, be, or have. So my advice is, don't impose limitations on yourself. Believe, if you want to do this, believe that you can. And nobody, nowhere, no place will stop you to achieve the success that you set your mind to achieve. Pow!
Ah, I knew it. It took the whole show. It took the whole show to get a pow out of you.
Wow!
Yeah, I mean that's the trademark, right?
Of course,
you had to
absolutely.
get a pow.
Of course, it wouldn't be. It wouldn't be a successful show without one. No.
So we got the pow. I'm happy. I got a pow. Thank you both.
Thank you
both
for
taking
having.
this
Thank you for
time.
having us.
So great, Josefina, Yami. Thank you both for joining me, spending this hour with us. God, I wish I had more time to just keep going, and we'll have to have you guys back to discuss other things. And so inspirational, both of you.
Thank you.
Anyone watching, you can do this. Stay consistent and have the right mindset. Now I'm going to go work on getting the right mindset, and then the consistency part's the harder one for me. I can get a good frame of mind. Thank you so much for coming on. And I hope that you guys watching have caught the inspiration for this. If you can start at the age of 59 and be winning championships, coming in first in open class, competing against everybody, if you can start and in 5 years be winning medals and trying to go pro, you can do this. Anyone can do this. So stay healthy, get the right mindset, stay consistent with your workouts, and stay consistent watching Naked Beauty Live. We're going to be back with another show next month. Thank you for joining us. This has been Naked Beauty Live, the Olympic show, Olympic 2024, with Josefina Monasterio and Yamile Gideon. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.